Georgia Real Estate License Laws and Rules Flashka 25 questions with explained answers. Flashcard 1. Term. Which of the following is not a legitimate reason for a broker or sales associate to refuse a listing? A. The seller states an unreasonable list price for the property. B. The property is not in the firm's geographical service area. C. The property type is not handled by the firm. D. The owner's minority status would make the property difficult to sell. Definition. D. The owner's minority status would make the property difficult to sell. Flashcard 2. Term. A builder gives a real estate broker verbal permission to find buyers for his new homes. Can the broker advertise the properties? A. Yes, only the consent of the owner is required. B. Yes, provided the builder's trade name is included in the advertisement. C. No, the broker must have written permission of the owner and said permission has a definite date of expiration. D. No, new home sales can only be advertised by the builder. Definition. C. No, the broker must have written permission of the owner and said permission has a definite date of expiration. Flashcard 3. Term. Upon termination of a management agreement by a community association or property owner, licensee shall provide all record, documents, and funds within what period of time of the termination? A. 10 days. B. 30 days. C. 1 year. D. 3 years. Definition. B. 30 days. Flashcard 4. Term. Can a broker deposit earnest money and security deposits into an interest-bearing trust account? A. No. The law requires that it be deposited into a non-interest-bearing account. B. No. Earnest money must be held by the seller or builder. C. Yes, providing the broker notifies the Georgia Real Estate Commission of the location and name of the account. D. Yes, providing all parties to each transaction specifically agree in writing who is to receive any interest earned prior to depositing the funds. Definition. D. Yes, providing all parties to each transaction specifically agree in writing who is to receive any interest earned prior to depositing the funds. Flashcard 5. Term. A salesperson is faxing listings to potential buyers. The faxes must contain the A. Address of the listed properties. B. List price of each property. C. Name and phone number of the listing firm. D. Expiration date of each listing. Definition. C. Name and phone number of the listing firm. Flashcard 6. Term. If the purchaser is paying a substantial amount of earnest money, and particularly if the closing is several months later, it would be practical to place the funds in an interest-bearing account. It is permissible to do so as long as all parties having an interest in the fund agree to this procedure in writing. B. The interest is paid to the seller at closing. C. The funds do not exceed $10,000. D. The broker has given you written consent. Definition. A. All parties having an interest in the fund agree to this procedure in writing. Flashcard 7. Term. A salesperson is holding an open house on a seller's house. When should the salesperson make a written agency disclosure to an interested buyer? A. At closing. B. When the offer is accepted by the seller. C. In a timely manner, but no later than the closing dated, in a timely manner, but no later than the time either party makes a written offer. Definition. D. In a timely manner, but no later than the time either party makes a written offer. Flashcard 8. Term. Any outdated information on a website that a licensee maintains must be updated or removed from the website within blank days. A. 15. B. 30. C. 45. D. 60. Definition. B. 30. Flashcard 9. Term. Any person who has taken the salesperson or broker licensing examination and successfully passed the examination must activate their license by making application within what period of time or must retake the examination? A. 12 months. B. 9 months. C. 6 months. D. 3 months. Definition. A. 12 months. Flashcard 10. Term. The real estate licensee does a competitive market analysis for a seller to recommend a listing price for the real estate. Upon completion of the estimate, the agent meets with the prospective seller and refers to the estimate as an appraisal and suggests the property be listed at the appraised value. In this situation, was the licensee's actions correct? A. Yes, a market analysis should be given to the seller before listing the property. B. Yes, the appraisal will help the seller know the value of the property. C. No, the licensee should not have referred to the estimate as an appraisal. D. No, licensees cannot pay referral fees. Definition. C. No, the licensee should not have referred to the estimate as an appraisal. Flashcard 11. Term. A licensee who seeks to activate a license which has been on inactive status for a period of 3½ years shall be required to complete commission-approved courses of at least A. 6 hours prior to activating. B. 12 hours prior to activating. C. 18 hours prior to activating. D. 36 hours prior to activating. Definition. D. 36 hours prior to activating. Flashcard 12. Term. A salesperson has enrolled in a 25-hour approved course 2 weeks prior to the 1-year issuance of their original license. Due to a medical emergency, the licensee is unable to complete the course within the 1-year required time period and their license lapses. Can the licensee reinstate the lapsed license? A. No. The licensee would have to start as an original applicant. B. No. The 25 hours must be completed within the first year of licensure. C. Yes. They may reinstate the license by completing the course within 6 months of lapsing the license. D. Yes. By passing a new state licensing examination and completing the 25 hours of instruction approved by the Commission. Definition. C. Yes, they may reinstate the license by completing the course within 6 months of lapsing the license. Flashcard 13. Term. Fees authorized under the Georgia Real Estate License Law are established and collected by the A. Real Estate Commission. B. Real Estate Commissioner. C. Active Real Estate Brokers. D. Office of the Secretary of State. Definition. A. Real Estate Commission. Flashcard 14. Term. In advertising specific property or properties for sale or rent, all real estate forms must include in the advertisement A. Only the name of the firm that is registered with the Commission. B. The name of the firm that is registered with the Commission and the firm's address. C. The name of the firm that is registered with the Commission and the firm's license number. D. The name of the firm that is registered with the Commission and a telephone number for the firm. Definition. D. The name of the firm that is registered with the Commission and a telephone number for the firm. Flashcard 15. Term. Regarding Internet advertising, if a licensee has a website, they must disclose the A. Address of the licensee's firm on every page of the website. B. Name of the licensee's firm on every page of the website. C. Name and phone number of the licensee's firm on every page of the website. D. Name, phone number, and address of the licensee's firm on every page of the website. Definition. C. Name and phone number of the licensee's firm on every page of the website. Flashcard 16. Term. What is the maximum amount of time a licensee can put their license on inactive status? A. 2 years. B. 3 years. C. 4 years. D. Indefinitely, as long as renewal fees are paid. Definition. D. Indefinitely, as long as renewal fees are paid. Flashcard 17. Term. 3 real estate licensed salespersons and an associate broker want to form a new real estate company. Can the associate broker serve as the qualifying broker for the new firm and as an associate broker for their present firm? A. No. An associate broker can only work for one firm. B. No. An associate broker cannot become a qualifying broker. C. Yes. Provided the associate broker notifies their current broker of the intended service. Yes. If the company has less than 10 licenses. Definition. C. Yes. Provided the associate broker notifies their current broker of the intended service. Flashcard 18. Term. A licensee may pay compensation to a person who performs the acts of a licensee only if such person A. is paid only referral fees. B. Holds a real estate license. C. Is related to the licensee. D. Is paid only an advanced fee or retainer fee. Definition. B. Holds a real estate license. Flashcard 19. Term. In order to qualify for a broker or associate's broker license, an applicant must A. Be a U.S. citizen. B. Be a resident of the state of Georgia. C. Have attained the age of 21 years and have served actively for 2 years as a licensee. D. Have attained the age of 21 years and have served actively for at least 3 years of the 5 years immediately preceding application. Definition. D. Have attained the age of 21 years and have served actively for at least 3 years of the 5 years immediately preceding application. Flashcard 20. Term. An original applicant for a salesperson's license, or a licensee seeking to renew a license, who has been convicted of a crime must A. Appear before the Georgia Real Estate Commission. B. Disclose this conviction to the Georgia Real Estate Commission. C. Submit recommendations from other licensees. D. Pay a fine of $1,000 before being considered an eligible candidate for licensing. Definition. B. Disclose this conviction to the Georgia Real Estate Commission. Flashcard 21. Term. Fees collected by the Real Estate Commission are held A. By the Real Estate Commission members. B. In the Commissioner's personal checking account. C. In the general fund of the State Treasury. D. In an interest-bearing trust account. Definition. C. In the general fund of the State Treasury. Flashcard 22. Term. A salesperson is holding an open house. A married couple looks at the house and tells her the house is just what they have been looking for, but they signed a contract to purchase a house down the street the day before. The salesperson tells them that they can sign a contract with her to purchase this house and simply not complete the purchase of the house that they had contracted to buy the day before. In this situation, the salesperson has A. Properly represented her principal and therefore acted correctly. B. Committed an unfair practice by inducing a party to break a contract. C. Acted properly as long as she notifies her broker of her intentions. D. Acted properly because she did not initiate the discussion. Definition. B. Committed an unfair practice by inducing a party to break a contract. Flashcard 23. Term, which of the following statements is best described as blind advertising? A. Failure to give the property's address. B. Failure to give the owner's name. C. Failure to state the advertiser is a real estate licensee. D. Failure to disclose the defects in the property. Definition. C. Failure to state the advertiser is a real estate licensee. Flashcard 24. Term, an applicant for a salesperson license in Georgia must A. Have attained the age of 21 years. B. Furnish evidence of completion of 60 hours of instruction in a course approved by the Commission. C. Be a citizen of the United States. D. Be a high school graduate or the holder of a certificate of equivalency. Definition. D. Be a high school graduate or the holder of a certificate of equivalency. Flashcard 25. Term, the liability of the Real Estate Education, Research, and Recovery Fund for the acts of a licensee is terminated upon the payments from the fund in aggregate amounts of A. $5,000. B. $25,000. C. $75,000. D. $1 million. Definition. C. $75,000.